A desperate operation to shore up flood defenses is taking place in Poland as flood waters threaten to engulf a city in the southwest of the country. The mayor of Nysa has asked all 44,000 residents to leave, with the military now being drafted in. At least 18 people are thought to have died in the floods across Central Europe, which have been caused by a powerful storm moving across the region. Thousands have been left homeless and more bad weather is forecast. Slovakia and Hungary are bracing against floodwaters moving down the river Danube and its tributaries. These are the latest pictures from Nysa, where the river threatens to burst its banks. Sarah Reinford reports from the Czech-Polish border in the flood zone of Poland. There is an urgent call to evacuate. Fears that a stretch of embankment could collapse after days battered by a river swollen by torrential rain. Not far from here, a dam has burst. The pressure is increasing. Nysa has already flooded, but it could get much worse, so residents like Teresa have been told to get out to higher ground. It's the weather, it's nature, what can you do, she tells me. But nature is powerful. It smashed up the main bridge in the next town and plunged Guławatcy underwater. When the flood subsided, there was chaos and filth everywhere, right into the houses. How high did the water come to this? Christoph and his family had only just decorated. All this was brand new. Everything is damaged. Yeah, everything. Money what we have was from the repair, and now we don't have nothing, just water everywhere. His neighbor tells me she fled when the water came rushing in. Was it scary when it was coming? Yes, I'm scared. Recovering from this won't be easy, and the danger still hasn't passed. Sarah Reword BBC News in Sarah's now moved to the Polish town of Nysa and sent us this update. Yeah, I'm in Nysa now, just a few miles from where we were for that report, and here in Nysa it was a pretty dramatic night overnight. The mayor, as you heard in that report, had given an emergency evacuation order, and then there were volunteers who were here all night stuffing our sandbags like this, forming a human chain to bring the bags down here to the embankment where a section of the riverbank had subsided, and there was a danger, according to the mayor, of that riverbank collapsing completely and the water rushing through into the town of Nysa, where we are now. And you can see that the wall of sandbags and the river behind, now they have plugged the gap, and in fact the water level has begun to fall back. So it seems, according to the authorities here, that the immediate danger has passed. They are prepared if the water level rises again. There is talk of another problem with the embankment a little further up, but certainly after a dramatic night, lots of helicopters in the skies, lots of sirens going off, and a huge number of people volunteering to bring these sandbags to this spot and to try to protect their town. It does seem like this morning the sun's come out and people are a little more hopeful that perhaps the worst has passed here for this town in particular. Well, I'm joined now in the studio by BBC weather presenter Helen. Well, Helen, we're not used to hearing about this level of intensity when it comes to floods in Eastern Europe at this time of year. What's driving all of this? It's been quite a complex situation, and we had a lot of hot, dry weather ahead of this record-breaking heat in Austria just a few days before. Obviously this extreme rain has fallen, coupled with some record-breaking temperatures in the Mediterranean and the Adriatic that also feed into these storm systems, and we got a cut-off low-pressure system, which basically you've got all that heat in the east, you've got cooler air coming in from the west, and this cut-off low overhead, and it just got blocked. It couldn't move anywhere, so it sat in the same place for several days, and some incredible rainfall figures coming through. It's unimaginable, really, the catastrophic effects of this amount of rainfall when you're seeing it as you are. But in 4 days some parts of Austria had as much rainfall as they've had in their we test autumn 3 Monon period, and that was set back in 1950, so that's what a 1 in 70-year event. It's absolutely incredible, so that's why I suppose the storm was named Boris. And although, as we've just heard from Sarah, it is easing a little in those areas that have been so badly affected, all that water onto the dry ground rushed into the rivers, and it's still got to make its way down those European rivers, which a slow response because they're so long, so some areas where it may have stopped raining or may not have had much rain could still see flash flooding in the coming few days as that water makes its way down, and as that system moves out of the way, it's going to develop into another system, we think, over the Mediterranean. Some more forecast for bad weather, yes, but slightly different areas. We think at this, I mean, there are red warnings out. That's the highest level warning. Danger to live today through parts of the Czech Republic, Slovakia and parts of Germany as well. Still some rain A little bit of rain left in Austria, but it's moving into Italy and the Western Balkans, and again as it develops really at the same area of low pressure, the same energy if you like, it's moving over these very warm waters in the Mediterranean I just talked about that will fuel intense rains again, so we'll have to be keeping a close eye on that area as well for flooding and lands, so we can expect a few more wet months in Europe. Then this sort of thing, it goes hand in hand with the ideas of climate change, because warmer air can hold more moisture, so the extremes seem to be getting more extreme. So in this situation, yeah, you have had absolutely exceptional amounts of rainfall. Okay, Helen Willett, thanks for joining me in the studio and taking us through that.